Well, good morning, FEC cohort. This is Ben Henderson for my introductory video for this next course for the summer. I never really know how to do these things, so I'll just kind of go down through the questions. I live in Washington, Illinois, and I'm currently serving as the associate pastor of Calvary Community Church. Calvary is actually the church that I grew up at, and my family still goes there. So it's been kind of an interesting journey for me to kind of come back home and close the circle and serve there as one of the pastors. But before that, I got my bachelor's in communication at the University of Illinois and then served for a few years as the youth director at a church down there in Champaign-Urbana. And then I served overseas as a church planter for a few years. And then when that was no longer a tenable situation, I decided to come home. And one of my very good friends, who'd been a mentor to me and a confidant to me in ministry for a long time, was going to become the senior pastor at Calvary, my home church. And so I decided that I would take the opportunity to work with him. And that's been a really, really wonderful partnership over the last year and a half, and I'm very thankful for that. In terms of educational career goals, I don't really know how to answer that question. I mean, my goal is to complete this certificate process and receive that, and otherwise I think I am just trying to continue to discern what the Lord's leading is for my life. I'm single, don't have any kids. Like I said, my family also lives here in the area and goes to this church, so it's been good to be able to spend some more time with them. And I do love to read. I'm a pretty committed reader, and I write. So I've actually written a few steampunk novels, and some of you may have some idea of what that is. Some of you may have no idea what that means. That's fine. Hopefully one day somebody will read them. Actually, one of my kind of personal goals is here by the end of the summer to have sent my stuff in to some agents and try to actually start working with a literary agent to get them published. So hopefully maybe in a year or two, some of them are the first of them will be published and you can read them and hopefully you'll enjoy that. But I think what do I hope to learn in the course? I was really intrigued, so I listened through the first set of lectures, and I just enjoyed Dr. Cole. He seems like he'd be a fun person to know, but I really appreciated towards the end he started talking about just language and like theological jargon, and I think one of the things that we've struggled with at Calvary is a lot of our people are don't know how to put it exactly, but they're definitely not specialists, and there's just kind of a lack of interest, I think, in really learning some of the concepts and different things of the Bible, and you can just tell, like, once you kind of cross a certain threshold of theological language or that sort of thing, that people just kind of get a glazed look over their face. And so I think for our own people, I'm looking forward to hopefully Dr. Cole kind of continuing in that vein of how can we really explain these things in such a way that is obviously faithful to what they actually mean, but then also applies itself to people's lives and the questions that they're actually asking, right? And nobody, I think, probably ever really thinks about the word theology in terms of what their own kind of thoughts about life in the world are, but that is what it is. And so I think I'm looking forward to maybe more of kind of the practical implications of how do we as ministers and pastors and leaders and kind of take what we're learning and actually make it useful to the people in our churches and ministries. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to being able to interact with you all again. So thanks.